flag this video and report me to the authorities. But I kind of enjoyed it. I'm going to share it with you. This was on the Majority Report. It's about DeSantis, Meatball DeSantis. He's a fragile individual. You could tell the way he always stands with a lot of people behind him as a way to show force and strength. And he's copying off Donald Trump, the former president. He's copying off Donald Trump, let's be honest, with the hand movement, everything that Donald Trump used to do, and he does the hand movement. Sometimes, when he talks, I just mute the sound. I just see his hands move. He's an idiot. He's not going to survive. Because even his policies, all about, could you guys, he tells the people in his administration, can you guys find me something that some leftists said today so we could go at it and make some noise and feed the lions as follows, the idiots, about woke culture. I'm against Disney. I'm against this. I hate this. I'm against these books. Now, the guy wants, there's a bill in Florida to introduce that any blogger, there's no more bloggers, maybe, I don't know if bloggers still exist, but any bloggers are critical of the legislative people, the Republican legislators or the governor. They have to register who they are and who pays for them and how they get their money. That's freedom of speech 101. If conservatives are right with this, they got to get their head checked. That's not what conservatism is about. Conservatism is about less government, less overreach. Now you want people to put their names as somehow we live in a third world country? Fucking guy is a fascist, man. Meatball Ron has some fascist tendency, but he's fragile as a fucking as a feather. He's as fragile as that of a spider web. Is that what they say in Arabic? Yes. Because I know once he comes out or he declares his presidency, Donald Trump is going to, he's going to mop the floor with him. And I'm going to enjoy every single minute. I don't like any of them, but I want to see that fight. I want to see them because he's been a douchebag. That is DeSantis. In Florida, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's overdoing things. You could say, this is woke, but not every day. Books, schools, universities, Mickey Mouse, bloggers. Come on, man. Let's just see. I was watching the Majority Report with Sam Cedar. I forgot her name. She's been so beautiful. I love her laugh. Her laugh reminds me of that Diana, from Cheers. I don't know how.
This one is just sort of bizarre.
It is bizarre.
And I don't think that Trump would have an issue with this. I don't think he's going to use this. Yeah. But it is indicative.
This is one way where Sam said that Trump is going to use it. I love Sam Cedar, man. I think he's the best on YouTube. It's too bad he doesn't have a big platform like he's supposed to. But he does want, but he needs more support.
Of a guy with some serious mental issues. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the word narcissism gets thrown around quite a bit, but this is sort of like, this seems to be clinical. Listen to this story.
They know. And let's skip over his early life, the short version being he grew up in Florida, was a standout baseball player, and even got to the Little League World Series with his local team. He then went to Yale, then Harvard Law School, and subsequently joined the Navy as an attorney. Eventually, he married his wife, Casey, despite having the most bizarre dating tactic I have ever heard. According to a former...
You have to listen to this carefully. Listen, go ahead.
Classmate, DeSantis would apparently tell dates he liked Thai food, but pronounced it thigh. And if they corrected him, he would make up an excuse and leave because, quote, he didn't want a girlfriend who corrected him. And if that is true, wow. Just imagine being on that date. You're out at dinner and out of nowhere your date tells you that he really likes Thai food. And you think, wait, did he just call Thai food Thai food? I must have misheard. But then he goes on to say that he knows a great Thai food restaurant in the area, all while staring very intently at you, almost studying your reaction. So as politely as you can, you say, wait, do you mean Thai food? Like from Thailand? And then suddenly his face drops and he says, sorry, I forgot I have a doctor's appointment tonight. And he leaves, leaving you both with the...
This is the man who wants to have the nuclear code in his pocket. I don't understand. The Republicans can't find any more fucking leadership, man. They have good leadership. They have other good leaders, but I don't know what happened. They got these idiots. This guy is testing his girlfriends whether he's going to continue the date or not. All right, finish the date, man. Pay for the bill and get the fuck out.
Check, and the single greatest first date disaster story of
Wait,
all
hold on,
time.
let's hear this again.
Thai food, I must have misheard. But then he goes on to say that he knows a great Thai food restaurant in the area, all while staring very intently at you, almost studying your reaction. So as politely as you can, you say, wait, do you mean Thai food? Like from Thailand? And then suddenly his face drops and he says, sorry, I forgot I have a doctor's appointment tonight. And he leaves, leaving you both with the check and the single greatest first date disaster story of all time.
Over Thailand. Thai food.
Then flashing forward.
You know, I mean, the point is, honestly, like that is the behavior of someone who is a clinical narcissist, and God knows what other sort of like control issues he has when it comes to.
Sam, there's plenty. Trust me, a lot of shit's gonna come out if he runs for president. Sam, this individual is not normal, Sam. He is not normal to the idea. You could tell he's a fake, a phony. He put on those expensive suits and he gets up. One time he says tootsies or unsies, like twos or ones. He's not a man who's sure of himself. And you'll see it later on. You saw when he did the commercials for Donald Trump. Even he having his baby building a little wall against the Mexicans. He's a misfit. He's what we call in New York, he's a douchebag. He's a douchebag. He lived in, I lived in Morris Park in New York. It's Italian. It used to be Italian neighborhood. Hey, he's a douchebag. Hey, douchebag, what you doing? He's a douchebag. That's what he is. He's a douchebag.
His wife and his
He's
family.
a douchebag.
But that is, you know, you have to be somewhat narcissistic, I think, to run for office.
Yep.
But this is another level.
And misogyny also works very well hand in hand with homophobia, transphobia, because you have these.
I can't remember your name. I'm sorry, but I think you are the most intelligent individual, most respectful person I've ever seen in these shows. She's nice, she's smart, and she has a heavy heart. She has a good heart, man. But she reminds me of Diana in Cheers. When she laughs, she doesn't do it no more.
There's very strict rules about how gender needs to be performed. And if you want a submissive wife, it would make sense that you have those kinds of views. Like when I first heard that anecdote, I thought, oh, is he just being kind of a dick, like testing his date's intelligence?
He's a dick. He's a dick. He's a dick.
Culturedness, that's where my mind first went. But it's no, he's doesn't want to be challenged. He wants to be the man of the castle. He wants like a 1950s style relationship.
Here is John Oliver breaking down DeSantis's supposed war against wokeness. This is important to understand that, you know, so much of his attacks on so-called wokeness is completely made up. It is just basically an attack on black people. You know, he's attacking the vapors and he's making them up. But this is a good run from Oliver.
It's not just sexuality in DeSantis' crosshairs. He's also passed an act called the Stop Woke Act, which limits the ways concepts related to systemic racism and sex discrimination can be discussed in schools. And to hear him tell it, laws like that are badly needed because the wokeness in schools goes way deeper than anyone might think.
I will have math books sent to my Department of Education for review, these textbooks, and they will do things like woke math. And I'm thinking to myself, 2 + 2 = 4. It's not 2 + 2. Well, let's have a struggle session over that. How do you feel about it?
Comedy show. You got another comedian. The last comedian was Donald Trump. Now we have another comedian come out of the Republican Party.
No. There's a right answer here.
I mean, out of context, he's completely right there. Numbers don't have feelings. If they did, this one would be sad, this one would be giggly, and this one would be exciting for a few minutes, but then the novelty wears off and it mostly just gets tired and short. DeSantis has claimed that his state had to reject math books for containing indoctrinating concepts like race essentialism, especially bizarrely for elementary school students. Now, that is a big claim. And if it sounds like bullshit to you, that's because it absolutely is. Reporters for these outlets combed through thousands of pages of elementary school textbooks and their reviews and couldn't find any such examples. And when the DeSantis administration eventually produced just 4 tiny snippets of what they claimed was objectionable material, 42 that came from grade school books, there is nothing about race, although one does suggest students practice with empathizing with classmates while they fulfill a lesson objective of identifying numbers from 1 to 5 in sequence. That is it. So his big claim of woke math and race essentialism in grade schools is basically regular.
Another phony piece of shit running for presidency. And you know what? They're going to believe him, the idiots. Well, we believe in DeSantis. We don't like woke culture. Woke are the crazy people, the progressive. They want us to have health care. They want us to have minimum wage. They want us to have pre-K. And they want to have maternity leave. We don't want that. We love DeSantis because we don't want to have no health insurance. Fucking retarded.
Math and trying to teach kids not to be dicks to each other. A kind of math education that DeSantis himself, frankly, might have benefited from, as his solution to figuring out the difference between 1 and 3 questions seems to be yell until the other person stops talking. And the most recent thing you might have heard about are books being pulled from shelves in Florida schools with viral images like these making the rounds online. Now, in classic fashion, DeSantis has pushed back on those images hard.
They've tried to create in Florida.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to touch on the empathetic line so that people understand what that's about, if there is any complaints about it. When you have kids who are learning to sequence numbers, right? They're quite young kids. They don't know that 2 necessarily comes after 3 or 4 or 5, or they're struggling with it. One of the things that the teachers are probably told to do, because that is obviously, you don't have kids reading this lesson plan, is to make sure that the other kids don't mock the kids who don't get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Who might
That's
say
all.
1,
Very
4,
simple, man.
5 or 1, 4, 3, 5.
That's it. Yeah, what he's saying, what Sam Cedar is saying, I'm sure you understand, but I have to put my 2 cents in it to sound like I'm in intelligence. The whole idea, let's say I was in 1st grade. You know, I come from a different country. I had problems with English. I had to learn English, had to learn English numbers. So let's say I was in front of the class and I get up and I'm saying 1, 3, 5, 7, 10. So the whole idea is they tell you got to teach the other kids not to laugh at me because I'm going to get discouraged. I'm going to feel hurt. I'm going to close in. I'm going to be able to learn. I'm going to feel alienated as a child. Of course, we all been through that. Trust me, growing up here in ESL, English Second Language classes, it was very hard to learn English. And I took a lot of abuse, especially from DeSantis people. The Italians, fucking bullies, man. The kids, not the adults.
Because it inhibits a kid's ability to learn if they are afraid to try and get the answer right because they are being shamed by other kids.
Yeah, well, might as well just give them a participation trophy.
I know that's a little bit namby-pamby for people.
We should be traumatizing kids as they attempt to learn this stuff. It's the only way we can be strong as a nation.
They are the pro-bullying party. Again, that's consistent.
We're probably talking about like 1st graders, maybe?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But here is...
He's against empathy because that got
Man,
in the
John
way
Oliver
of
broke him
his
down,
watching.
And he's going to run for president once this shit gets out?
Prisoners were tortured.
Force-fed and sure.
Yeah.
DeSantis was accused of punishing prisoners in Guantanamo Bay. Can't even pronounce the word. Yeah, where you put all the Arabs, where you put my people in there for nothing, for 20 years, for 30 years, for nothing, What's your name, Muhammad? Come over here. What's your name, Abdul? You belong here. What's your name, John? You could go ahead, John.
Those images hard.
They've tried to create in Florida a narrative.
There's nothing in Florida. They're all crazy.
Hoax. It's a hoax what they're doing.
This is the Florida man. Have you heard of her? This is the Florida man. You know, the killers and the idiots and the nut job. This is just, he fits the profile of the Florida man that you see on TV. This is him. He wants to run for president. Donald Trump is gonna have a field day. I can't wait, man. I'm gonna support Donald Trump when Donald. I will switch my party affiliation just to vote for you in New York City. I know you're not gonna win New York, but just in the primary to help you against this piece of shit, because we need comedy back in the White House and life.
And they're trying to say that because we have parental rights and because we have curriculum transparency.
Watch those hands. Watch those hand movements. They told him, use your hands a lot, DeSanto. You gotta learn to use your hands. This is a copycat of Donald Trump, but once they told him and they put him on blast, he changed a little bit the way he uses his hand. Good.
If you have a book that has hardcore pornography for in a library that 10-year-olds can access, a parent objects to that. That does not satisfy Florida standards. It should not be in the library with those young kids. And I think 99% of
when I grew up, I'm gonna be honest. In public school, they used to have in the school teacher's room the Sears catalog, and I used to look at the inner cloth, the lingerie, that was our porno in school.
the parents agree with that.
Okay, first, let's debunk the most egregious claim there, because 99% of parents don't agree on anything. I'm pretty sure you can find at least 10% of parents who are against covering electrical sockets in reach of toddlers. They're called Zap Moms, and they're all about letting kids discover their own limits of electricity. But I will give DeSantis this. There has been some misinformation floating around online. This viral list of books that was supposedly banned statewide in Florida circulated widely, but it's nonsense. Having said that, those images of empty shelves are very real and are the direct result of DeSantis' actions, because he signed legislation mandating that only approved books could be included in any school or classroom library, and that approval must come from a certified media specialist. That led some districts, including the ones those photos are from, to tell teachers to remove or cover books, not because they were pushing a false narrative, but because they were trying to comply with DeSantis' stupid law. And while DeSantis might say, well, this isn't overreaction because those books will return once they are approved, not all of them. Because thanks to his new law, as well as that Don't Say Gay bill and his Stop Woke Act, he has turbocharged a movement among conservatives to get books removed from libraries that they just don't like. And this goes way beyond removing hardcore pornography or the usual kind of give and take between parents and school boards that has been going on for decades now. What DeSantis has done is make it so anyone in a community can challenge these books. Reporters tracked down one woman who submitted 21 book challenges in one county, only to find that she's a retiree with no children who fully admits that she hasn't read all of them, but I've read them in partial. So basically, she just skimmed them and said, I'm pretty sure nobody should read this, which is coincidentally exactly how I feel about Ron DeSantis' new book, but I'm not trying to get it taken out.
I mean, that's, but that captures,
that's right,
honestly,
dismantle that piece of
the
shit.
Dynamic that's going on here. Talk about, I mean, that's what, I mean, it doesn't get more authoritarian than that.
Yeah.
And
I think when Sam did this, probably he didn't even know about the blogger list that they want to put on the government.
Anti-trans and sure will lead itself to the homophobia. Well, the Don't Say Gay. I mean, that's where the sort of like fashy part comes in.
It's in their blood, man. Sorry,
yeah, and I would recommend, it got excerpted in Harper's Preisner.
Mr. Looney is his great-grandfather.
Somebody who was tortured at Guantanamo about how DeSantis was there as a lawyer looking on.